It's TMNT time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Super 7 Ultimates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Donatello. The last one of the bunch, and he does come in this brown box if you buy him from the Super 7 store. Probably just to protect the inside of it. The actual box, so let's get the boring out of the way. I just want to show you that so you can have the full unboxing experience, even though I don't really, I'm not the biggest unboxing guy, because I think it's a lot fumbly-bumbly to take all this stuff out of the box in front of the camera. Maybe it's just my setup is really bad for these things, but here it is! It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Super 7. Got the logo on the back with the turtle and the bow staves on the side. Nice attention to detail. And here is the classic inspired box. We have the turtle breaking out of the wall. It's Donatello. It's the last one of the bunch. Got a little bit of bio in the back once we get to that part. And yes, I talked about this in great detail beforehand. I like the box. I like the kind of classic style and also have their own identity to it. Obviously, it's not completely packaged as the old one is. It's a lot nicer looking. Also for collectors who do want to keep this in the box, but I'm not one of them. So let's bust them out. Let's have a look at the size of this guy. He stands at about a little over 15 centimeters to the top of his head. And that means he's a little shy or almost reaching up to 6 inches. Size comparisons. Here's Jolter, the original Playmates Donatello, NECA Turtles in Time Michelangelo, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, and Darkseid. So, he does machines. It's Donatello, and this is the 4th turtle that Super 7 has released. As such, I don't really, I don't want to go too much in depth about the entire design. I mean, if you want an overlook, here's the overlook. I mean, it looks good. It looks like a turtle, very muscly, has some veins, has some shading, and the paint job on it is clean. Although, however, I have like one piece over here, which like this shoulder seems to be a lot more shinier than the rest of the figure, which I find kind of weird. But anyway, I mean, I want to have a look at the face sculpt though. It is the classic one. You have a more modern one, which is one of my favorite parts of the line, that you have the option to really go like full on in with the classic ones, or if you want to have a little bit more modern inspired face sculpt. For the body, you have some slashes, some battle damage on the shell, as well as I was talking about the veins in the arms and the soft plastic shell on the front. This one, the orange part, is soft plastic. Then you have the belt, which has... Does it have dark gray paint around it or not? It feels like it's not painted, except for obviously the yellow D in the middle stands for Donatello. If you want to make any immature jokes, now is your chance. Go in the comments, make one, I don't care. And then, unless YouTube auto-deletes them, they do that. I don't delete any comments, just to be clear, just to clarify that. And then you have the calves, like the big muscles, and the knee pads in the comic book style. But, however, what I want to do is take a look at the different ones, because there are a little bit of inconsistencies already in the line, unfortunately. So, one thing I can tell already, I can tell you guys, is that, yeah, with the belt, I was saying, I don't see any gray on there. It might be like extremely dark, maybe like a little bit around the D, but for the rest of it, I don't see anything. Meanwhile, Raph, it's gray around the logo, and like, kind of like a dark gray, and also his shell is brown. That was like the very first release, which has the brown shell. They're doing a re-release of this one, and I'm wondering if they're making a black shell, which I have that one on pre-order, the re-release, just because I'm so goddamn curious. And then you have Michelangelo. I don't remember if Mikey was the second one or not, but yeah, as you can tell, I just want to show you, obviously, shell is exactly the same. Also, muscle work is exactly the same, and like the calves is exactly the same. I mean, it's common practice. If you're doing a turtle line, the 4 turtles will always be the exact same figure, but again, you have some paint, a little bit of gray paint for Mikey around the M. Nothing for Donnie, just a lot darker again. So they kind of changed that up for, I don't know, it's kind of weird. You know, you want to have it, I feel like I want to have it consistent. And then with Leonardo, going back to the belt, you have like the, going back to the light gray. So, and obviously, again, the shell. I don't have to show you, just take my word for it. The mold is always the exact same. And again, if you want to give him crap for that you can, but I don't really care, because I feel like that's just how figures are made. That's how you make money with TMNT stuff. It's easy money, just recycling the exact same body mold and putting some different colors and a different belt on it, and boom, there you go. You have a different figure. Well, they do have to make different heads, so also like that's also one of my favorite parts. Like the detail in the bandana. Ooh, the white in his eye is not really clean on that side actually, but yeah, the detail in the bandana, it has like it's textured, so that's pretty cool. Also, one more thing, I don't really see that much shading on this guy. I feel like they were going wild with shading on the previous ones. There seems to be some, but it might be just harder to see because of the darker skin tone of the character. As far as the purple goes, it seems very dark, and to me it's almost blue, but that's because I'm colorblind, so disregard, that's not really a complaint or whatnot. Just let me I want to know from you guys, and some people do question of the day. I'm not really gonna start doing question of the day, but I want to know from you guys, the viewers, do you like the tone of purple? Do you think it's too dark? Do you think it's a little bit weird going too much into the blue? Let me know about it, because my colorblind dog eyes cannot see purple and blue very well. So, moving on. I say dog eyes because dogs are colorblind, right? That's still true, is that an urban legend? Anyway, the head, articulation, moves back and forth. You can kind of move the pack in there, so it does not really move forward that much. It does move back nicely enough. It does tilt side to side. As you can tell, you can kind of rotate the pack in there, and does go all the way around. For your shoulder articulation, you got a big hinge. You can bring that up and down and rotate it on the shoulder itself. It's kind of stiff in there. Unfortunately, you have nothing to move it around in the shoulder, so no double ball or whatever. Got a bicep swivel. Got a simple hinge in the elbow and another hinge in the hand, which this one you have two sets of hands, one where the hinge is side to side for battle, for weapon posing obviously, and then you have other hands where the hinges go up and down, more like your standard stuff. You have some rotation in the lower half of the torso. You have this piece in there which rotates. Nothing in there moves around obviously, because that would just break up the sculpt. I don't agree with breaking up the sculpt too much. So you have this part which wiggles around, goes back and forth, side to side. Leg moves forward, leg moves out to the side, leg moves to the back. And with something I have to talk about is like sometimes these Super 7 figures, they're a little bit wobbly in the leg department. This one seems a lot tougher, seems a lot stiffer, but I don't know, I feel like I said that about another one already, but they kind of wore out. I know Raph was a little bit wobbly in the legs, but this one does seem very sturdy right now at the moment, so I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they tightened up the joints a little bit in the leg department. Also have rotation in there. Then we have another simple hinge in the knee, which you can kind of move up the knee pad trying to cover it because the knee pad is floaty. And then you have the foot on just another hinge, so you can bring that up and down, and it does have a nice pivot which goes obviously in an angle. See how the foot is molded, it always kind of lines up on that. For accessories, you got all the classic good stuff, but also here's the modern hat, which I'm probably going to use because I've been using all the modern hats on the Turtles. I really like these hats. I feel like it's a great representation of like a little comic, a little bit of a 2003 cartoon series, so nice little mishmash of that. You have two bow staffs, yes, painted bow staffs. Kind of have like a black wash on it, and it looks a little bit dirty, not too much, so it looks fairly realistic, and I like it. Then you have this kind of weird weaponry, which the Turtles never used, but the toys always had those, so you have whatever this is, and whatever this is, you can name the Japanese weaponry in the comments if you'd like to show all your knowledge, which I don't have about these kind of things, because listen, as kids, we never cared about this stuff, alright? So then you have the weapons rack, which has the ninja stars, these kind of weird weaponry, and two bow staffs, and like the rack itself. This is mostly for display purposes, but you can tear it apart if you want to. Oh yeah, and by the way, here's like the ninja stars. I will keep that in the packaging because, yeah, I hate taking these small things out. They're also very rubbery, so it's not the greatest accessory. You have a pizza, though, which is pretty good, which is necessary also. It's nicely done, nicely molded, nicely painted. The cheese running down a little bit on the side, and the big crust, and a nice brown tone. You have a turtle comb. You have an open turtle com, which doesn't feature any pictures or whatnot. It's just very simple, but also clean. And then you have the closed turtle com, which has like the lower half and the upside of it. Nicely detailed. And then for the hands, which one thing I gotta point out is like, why is the hinge a darker color than the rest of the hand? Is that just me? Also, he does have painted fingernails. A little bit of a brighter green on that, which does definitely pop. Then you have the holding hands and also the fist hands, which are always the same on all the turtles. And I just realized one thing. Everybody has like painted finger and toenails, except for Michelangelo, which, here we go again with inconsistencies. No, Super 7, what are you doing? I find it kind of weird because, like, yeah, here's Rav also. It does have the painted fingernails. You can barely tell because he's really like the bright green and then still Leo. Yeah, so there's that. And then we have the whole gang next to each other. I just wanted to give you this kind of nice little group shot before I move over into the final thoughts. As I was playing around with him, I noticed one thing also. The neck definitely stuck out because it is like a double ball with a tag in there, which for mine it was kind of a little bit too high, and I just put the hat on, give it a nice little push. Be careful with that. And now it looks better. However, that kind of also reduces the head articulation. So I now know that there is a way to kind of gently, I would recommend heating it up, but kind of taking off the head and then probably pulling out the ball hinge in there. Let me get this off. It is on there nice and tightly. Ah! So you can pull this out. I don't have anything to do it. I would tag like a little clamp or whatever, and like I'm saying, heat it up, maybe rotate a little bit, and you can pull this out a little bit more to give you a tiny bit more articulation, but it will also make him look a little bit more wonky with like a longer neck. So I think it's like that right now. Yeah, that's kind of like the long neck syndrome. So you do get a little bit of more forward motion, I guess, and a little bit of more wiggle motion, but you know, it will look, I feel like, a lot more weird. But then again, some people might prefer the long neck look, but I'm not. Final thoughts for the Super 7 Donatello. Also, I didn't show you the belt, the back of the belt. You have this rubber piece where you can store the weapon in, and do you have pegs on here? You have pegs, so you could take this, you could move the straps. I don't know, it looks like it's pegs, but it's not. Okay, I've been deceived. But anyway, also the balls on there are not painted on the belt, so this belt is just like completely unpainted, weirdly enough. Anyway, final thoughts. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I feel like if you buy one turtle, you gotta buy all of them. That's just me, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, if you like Donatello, this is like a really solid figure. It's a bit more pricey than like a NECA figure, but it's a different thing altogether. It's a bit bulkier, it's a bit bigger. It has its own unique design, charm, whatsoever. It leans heavily on the original toys, but gives it a completely updated look. Gives it a different head sculpt. So as such, as a big turtle fan, I feel like this is obviously a must-have. Like I'm saying, if you have the other turtles, you gotta buy Donnie. And if you don't like Donnie, then I don't care. Buy it. No, but seriously, I mean, completely just it's the fourth one in the line. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. The body mold is very solid. The paint is good. The articulation is, somewhat limited in some parts, but that's Super 7 for you, and they do have nice shading on it. Also, the accessories are definitely what they should be. You got all the classic stuff with the extra hat mostly, and that's it. I was just like, yeah, I do recommend it if you're a big fan of TMNT, if you're a big fan of Donatello, and I got nothing more to add. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Donatello wants.